Q5763-4. You attended a party last night and consumed several glasses of wine. You are planning to fly your aircraft home and have been careful to make sure hours have passed since your last alcoholic drink. You can make the flight now only if you are not under the influence of alcohol and your blood alcohol level is A. Below 0.04%. B. Below 0.08%. C. 0%. The correct answer is A. Below 0.04%. However, it's important to note that the safest option is to have a blood alcohol level of 0%. Ensure you are not under the influence of alcohol. It is always recommended to prioritize safety and avoid alcohol consumption before flying. 5764. Hypoxia susceptibility due to inhalation of carbon monoxide increases as A. Humidity decreases. B. Altitude increases. C. Oxygen demand increases. The correct answer is B. Altitude increases. At higher altitudes, the partial pressure of oxygen decreases, resulting in a reduced availability of oxygen for the body. When combined with the inhalation of carbon monoxide, which reduces the blood's ability to carry oxygen, the risk of hypoxia becomes more significant. Therefore, flying at higher altitudes while exposed to carbon monoxide increases the likelihood of experiencing hypoxia. 5765. To best overcome the effects of spatial disorientation, a pilot should A. Rely on body sensations. B. Increase the breathing rate. C. Rely on aircraft instrument indications. The correct answer is C. Rely on aircraft instrument indications. To best overcome the effects of spatial disorientation, a pilot should rely on aircraft instrument indications. Spatial disorientation occurs when there is a mismatch between the pilot's perception of their position, orientation, or motion and the actual aircraft's position, orientation, or motion. This can happen especially during instrument meteorological conditions, IMC, or when flying at night. To counter spatial disorientation, pilots should trust and rely on the aircraft's instruments, which provide accurate and reliable information about the aircraft's attitude, altitude, and heading. By disregarding misleading sensory cues and focusing on the instruments, pilots can maintain control and safely navigate the aircraft. 5765-1. To cope with spatial disorientation, pilots should rely on A. Body sensations and outside visual references. B. Adequate food, rest, and night adaptation. C. Proficient use of the aircraft instruments. The correct answer is C. Proficient use of the aircraft instruments. To cope with spatial disorientation, pilots should rely on the proficient use of the aircraft instruments. Spatial disorientation can occur when a pilot's perception of their position, orientation, or motion is different from the actual aircraft's position, orientation, or motion. This can happen when flying in poor visibility conditions or when there are conflicting visual references. Relying on body sensations and outside visual references can be misleading and can exacerbate the disorientation. By relying on proficient use of the aircraft instruments, pilots can maintain accurate situational awareness and overcome spatial disorientation. The instruments provide reliable information about the aircraft's attitude, altitude, heading, and airspeed, which can help the pilot determine the true orientation and motion of the aircraft. Training and proficiency in instrument flying techniques are essential for pilots to effectively use the instruments and mitigate the effects of spatial disorientation. 5765-2. A pilot flying in a fatigued state is a hazard because A. Flying fatigued is flying impaired. B. The pilot will hurry through checks and neglect items. C. The pilot will exceed aircraft limitations to complete the flight. The correct answer is A. Flying fatigued is flying impaired. A pilot flying in a fatigued state is a hazard because flying fatigued is equivalent to flying impaired. Fatigue can significantly impair a pilot's cognitive abilities, decision-making skills, reaction times, and overall performance. It can lead to decreased situational awareness, poor judgment, and increased errors in flying tasks. When a pilot is fatigued, their mental and physical capabilities are compromised, which can result in impaired performance during critical phases of flight. Fatigue can also lead to decreased attention and increased likelihood of making errors or overlooking important checks and procedures.